This week on the Street Parliament.
In my home, I recharge because I belong to the one they call the band A. I recharge about 10,000 weekly. That's about 30 to 40,000, every month. But I tell you of a truth. The reverse is not the case.
I spend 20,000 for lights monthly, and it lasts for 16 to 18 hours a day.
NEC gave a rule for a range that you cannot be beyond. And looking at the generation company, they use this gas, they use this fuel to get these lights. And when the fuel have increased and the gas have increased, the generation company will sell at the high rates to the disco.
We were told subsidies must go, and now it's gone. Today, citizens pay more for electricity that is still as unstable as ever. As usual, Nigerians are expected to adjust, even though bills are doubling, transformers are dying, and distribution companies are still serving estimated bills. Yet, the government says 150 million Nigerians now enjoy steady light. Today, on Street Parliament, we ask the real questions. Who is really enjoying this steady light? Who is the new tariff really serving? Are we being robbed in broad daylight, or is this a rough road to real reform? My name is Chimmeli, and I invite you to join the conversation. Please, with a show of hands, I'd like to know if your light bills have doubled recently and your electricity has not improved. Okay, now I will ask an across-board question. Please let me know how much you pay for light bills every month and how long it lasts. I will start with you.
This is a very terrible situation. It's nothing to write home about. It will be so devastating emotionally and psychologically traumatizing if I unveil and show you the history of what I've been paying, especially after the April 2024 increase on electricity. Let me just give you a little instance, especially in my home and also in my office environments. Before April 2024, when this increase took place, in my home, I recharge because I belong to the one they call the band A. I recharge about 10,000 weekly. That's about 30 to 40,000, every month. But I tell you of a truth. The reverse is not the case, in the sense that the 30 to 40K which I recharge monthly has now become what I recharge on the weekly basis. And if you multiply that times 4, we know what the numbers will be. And then for my office, my working environment and my business, that one is nothing to write home about. Because let me just give you the figures straight away. It was about 30,000 for a week, and 30,000 times 4 is like 120,000, in a month. But guess what? Multiply it times 4, and you tell me what the figures are. So the increase is nothing to write home about, and it's over 200%. And it's telling on us, we Nigerians.
Okay, so how long does this light now last, since the increase in tariff?
Oh my goodness. It appears there is increase in the luxury of the price, but then for the value of what you get, it now looks as if it has strongly depleted. Because when you recharge within the twinkling of an eye, in fact, in those days when the meter beeps and gives you a sign, when you recharge, what happens? It gives you a smile and shuts up. But this time around, when you recharge, it will still be laughing at you and be like, "Oga, waiting they worry you, they play, I've been waiting." Something like that. So it does not even last at all. So I don't know, something needs to be done about this.
Okay, thank you. So I will ask you now, sir, how much do you recharge for light every month and how long does it last?
I use estimated billing, so monthly I pay 21,000. But recently, they came around and they said they have increased it, and they have started paying 27,000. The funny thing about the whole issue is that despite the increase in tariff, the amount of lights I have has reduced. So I don't understand. If you're increasing my tariff, the light also that I'm having is supposed to measure up with what I'm paying. But currently, I have only, let's say, 6 to 4 hours of light in a day, and it has reduced my productivity because I run a business. I no longer produce what the people demand, And I wish the government will look into this and, try and reduce the tariff rate.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will ask the lady, how much do you recharge on light monthly and how long does it last?
Okay, the situation is not funny at all. So I recharged 50,000. That was last month. Beginning of last month, the first week of last month, and then only to my greatest surprise, my security was saying, this one stayed for only 3 weeks, 50,000 over 200 and something units, and I'm just using only one AC. It's not really funny because the way the unit is going like fuel. So I don't know the government, and sometimes okay, the situation of the lights, we just have lights probably in the morning time, and then in the afternoon we don't have lights. So I'm wondering how is the unit going so fast? So I don't know. As if they opened the meter so fast.
How much did you used to pay for this light per month?
50,000. In fact, every week I spend like maybe 10,000. That's the least every week.
All right. I would like to ask the both of you too, and then we can get to the next person. So how much do you recharge for light now, monthly, and how long does it last?
Okay, just like she said, 50,000 naira. And my last, okay, I would say 3 to 4 weeks. Because say we go economize am now. It was unlike before. But then I will also say, due to the fact that the light doesn't stay often, if you now consider what you are going to spend in getting a secondary source of light to augment, because for some persons who stay at home more often, who work at home, so you will be needing to augment for the lighting. So if you now add that, you will discover that you'll be spending up to 70K per month. Because unlike if it was like before that you're paying 50,000, you'll be sure morning, afternoon, night in band A you have light. But now you have to even spend more than the 50K to get what we were getting before. So that's just it.
Okay, so I'll ask you now. So please, how much do you spend for light now, and how long does it last?
I spend 20,000 for lights monthly, and it lasts for 16 to 18 hours a day. Yes.
A day.
Yes.
Are you on band A?
No, band B.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Right now, I would like to ask the industry professional. I'd like to also know how much you spend for light monthly and how long it lasts. And do you have special, treatment?
All right. Concerning the light issue, the truth is that before now, the amount to spend is not the same now. Though the company also tried to reduce some costs for the staffs, but you can't compare it. It's what you are paying before and what you are paying now.
I would like to know what led to the latest tariff hike and why was band A actually targeted the most?
All right, I would say why the tariff hike is because of the disco. That's the chiffon company. As it concerns electricity, they have the people that generates, they have that generation company, they have the transmitter, the one that transmit, and also they have the disco, those that distributes the light to the people. So the disco company, just like the government have privatized it now, they were at loss because NEC gave a rule for a range that you cannot be beyond. And looking at the generation company, they use this gas, they use this fuel to get these lights. And when the fuel have increased and the gas have increased, the disco company, the generation company will sell at the high rates to the disco. So the disco will not make any profits. So the government has to step in to say no. This is the rates that it will be suitable for the disco so that they can be able to sell and also make their profits.
Okay. So by government stepping in is the subsidies, right? Or is there any other way that government is actually stepping in? Because them stepping in to say, okay, this cost should not sell at this amount or more than this, and yet it is affecting the citizens. Is there a way, as an industry insider, that you think that the government should step in more so that the light will be more affordable to the citizens?
The truth of the matter is that we know the country we are, and the government, they have done their own by stepping in and say, okay, the band A should pay the rate because it's only band A that they increased like 209 naira per kilowatt, while the other bands are still on 63 naira per kilowatt. So the band A, I think they are the ones that are mainly affected because they are being given more light. So, and they have the regulation company that's a commission that's have to go around to make sure that these people pay this so amount and this will say pay this so amount.
Okay, so I know that a lot of people have had that conversation about band A, band B, band C. I'd like to know, is there a way, because some people are still complaining that even though they are in band A, they do not get the amount of light that is being promised them, even though they pay as much as, they have been billed. So is there a way that people who were unwillingly added to the band A can easily say, oh, you know what, we're going to NEC to say we do not want to be in the band A, put us in band B or band C or another band where we pay lesser and at least we can enjoy the electricity as it comes? Is it possible?
Yes, there are many ways you can do that because I will not say nationwide because I've not gone around the whole country. But let me say Abuja precisely, where I know and where I've worked. I would say that there are many ways because some people will come and complain that they're on band A, but they're not receiving the 20 hours light promise. Yes. And some people also were placed in band A because, during the time, that's the time that the company told the marketers to go around and pick all the meter number, the account number, so that they be placed on band and on the feeders.
Yeah.
Now, why they did that then is to make sure that, because then they were billing band A so amount, band B so amount, so that they make sure that everybody that is on band A will be so amount because all each feeder are being assigned duration of lights. Do you understand? So now, if you are being placed on band A wrong, let me assume in your area does not receive 20 hours lights, or probably you even receive, there's what they call load shedding. You get it now? If you are doing load shedding that you have 1 day or 1 day of, that means you're not receiving the equal like others. There are many ways you can do that. Even online, you can go online and make your reports. They have NEC where you can go to and lay your complaint. They have the Ministry of Power where you can also lay your voice. You can even go to the distribution company that's within you and make your complaint. Just write to them and say, I'm on so place and why am I billing so way? And they will have to refer your issue.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will go over to the business person and young professional now. You were talking about your business and your home, the amount that you pay for tariff since the hike. So first of all, I would like to know, what was your reaction the first time you heard about the hike and you actually saw it play at home and for your business?
Yeah, here in Nigeria, it's very, very difficult for things to inflate and then you see them go down again. It's practically almost impossible. So the first time, let me even tell you how it really happened. I had a very hectic day that day. So I came in and, it was close to bedtime. I was kind of feeling sleepy. But immediately I heard the news, the sleep disappeared from my eyes. So that alone struck me. And I was now trying to wonder, this hike that we're having, is this still on the old product or there's a new product? So I had to just look around the neighborhood to know whether if there is an improvement magically overnight that I am not aware. And I look around, lo and behold, it was still the blinking bulbs that at times are not even full voltage, and then the symphony of generators for those who run on generators. So all of a sudden I began to wonder, how can someone pay for luxury and then what the person is getting is nothing to write home about? Just imagine if this is the city of Abuja, and you know that here in Abuja, those who live in the suburbs, like those who live at Lube, Kubwa, Nyanya, and all of that, you see that at times you see these hillocks. I don't know if you've seen that. See passengers seated at the back of hillocks. That's very risky, and you see them flooding into the city center. Now, do you know that what we're facing with this power is likened to it? Just like you paying for first class service and then, or maybe you book Uber or Bolt, you expect a luxury vehicle to come by and pick you and take you to the city. And then all of a sudden, they bring a Hilux for you to sit there. That's unimaginable. So my reaction was very, very, very bad. I didn't react good about it at all.
Okay, so have you made lifestyle or business changes because of this hike? Has it like affected you? I know you've talked about the financial aspect, but are there things that you used to do in your business that you have now decided to change because of the hike?
Definitely. When the taste of palm wine changes, what happens? You know that definitely the cup by which it is used to take that palm wine will also change. There are a lot of adjustments that we've made in my business. For instance, the way we consume electricity is not the way it used to be again. And then what we now do now, I can assure you, we have a full committee members, whereby the generator is chairman of the committee. All right. The inverter is the secretary of that same committee. Then other inverter related or energy saving equipments is now what we've invented into the business. And then at time, if it's possible, if it's not necessary for us to turn on the usage of electricity, we just leave it aside because of the high cost. So we've made a lot of adjustments in my business.
Okay, have you ever tried, maybe from the period when you saw this tariff hike or anything, did you ever make an attempt to say, okay, I need to report to NEC or to the discos and say, okay, I don't think this billing is right, or the units I buy is right, or something? Have you ever done that?
Oh my goodness, that's very frustrating. Multiple times. Done that. I personally, it's not as if I assigned any of my staff members to do that. I have personally done that. I have written, if it's possible, if I'm to count the number of writings I have done, and it look as if they have all of their staff members spread across these Jenkos and discos and whatever you may call them, because I get the same feedback. And what's the feedback? Anytime I check on them, they will tell me that it is being looked into, I've not gotten any reasonable feedback even to date. So I now begin to wonder, it appears me now, I'll start looking into, they're looking into. Yeah.
Okay, so you are on band A, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what was your reports like? Were you trying to switch to band B, or you just wanted them to reduce your own price?
Why will they? I know that reducing it is impossible. Number one, I wanted them to come and inspect, because I felt I was being cheated. Let me even tell you, since the last hike, which we all know, the number of units we buy has drastically reduced further without any official communication to customers or any announcements. All right, it was just reducing from 10 units to 20 units. I can tell you now that if you check on paper, you will see that when you buy units for, say, 10,000, it's supposed to be at least 40 or 48. But I can confirm to you now that it's less than 30. You can go and verify. So these were part of the content of my complaints. And then I was also calling them to come and check their devices. Maybe the meter is bad or something, but I never got any response. Just keep spending. And the value we're getting is out of it, nowhere measured.
All right, thank you. I will switch back to the industry professional, because I have a very important question to ask you, especially based on what he said. He has talked about reporting severally about unfair billing and the price and inspection for his place to know if he is supposed to be paying that amount. And I know a lot of people that have actually also done that, for the ones that do not use prepaid meters and they are getting estimated bills, they get a lot of bills, to pay. So I want to know, are there like regulations that maybe the citizens can quote, when they want to report these unfair billings, and how the distribution companies or NEC can actually help them out? Maybe if they quote a particular rule or regulation, they can get answers quickly.
All right, just like I said initially, there's a regulation like they call Nigeria Electricity Regulation Commission that is in charge to check all these things. If you are being billed high and you know that you're being billed high, that's the way you can check the band you are, even online. If you go to like Abuja here, AEDs, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, if you go to www.abujaelectricity.com, you see a place that is for customer services. You now put your account number. From that account number, if it's meter number you have, you put the meter number. It's to bring out information to know am I on band A or on band B. Now, if you check and you see that, okay, my account is being placed on band A, and your location where you are staying is not actually getting the duration light, because they had also placed it to show you that, okay, band A is 20 hours, band B is 16 hours. Now you check, I'm not getting this 20 hours lights. What you just need to do is to report. There's a place you can report to. You go to NEC, you go to the NEC office and write and tell them, okay, Oga, see what is happening. Definitely NEC will come. I know some cases, some people they have gone so far, they have gone to NEC, they have gone to some places, and there's no issue. But at the end of the day, some of them get justice, while some didn't get. That's the country we are into. It's just like the country has same power of generation and transmission. Now, when they generate this power, they say they cannot do with distributing and receiving the money. Now they sell it to someone, and someone buys it. The person say, I'm going to sell so amount. You understand? The person have the power now because he's paying you the amount you are selling. So the person is selling so amount. You know, it will take some time because they want to generate more money to reach themselves, because it's a private sector. You understand? So, and in this situation, the country we are into, because the transmission, the government does not have fully hand in disco.
Yeah.
You understand? Sometimes you even go more lengths, it's nothing will be done. But at the end of the day, some of them are being answered, while some are not answered, because of that just the truth.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question to the both of you, but first I'm going to start with you since I'm already here. Do you think that the country is generating enough power, enough electricity to justify the high tariffs that we're getting?
The truth is that Nigeria have the capacity to generate enough energy that will serve the whole country 24 hours. Do you understand? But the truth is that there's this one they say, if you ask me, now who I go ask? The truth is that the country itself, I don't know. Most of us pull out of the sector because what we are seeing. You understand? Because even as an insider, you work for the company, you are not being paid well, and they expect you to get it big. And at the end of the day, you see that the masses, just like our president once say, allow the poor to breathe. But even the rich now, they are suffocating because everybody is crying. Because the band A is being placed for some people at the high area. Okay, they say, okay, they can pay so amount, they place them on band A. Because if you look at it, if you calculate, you see that, okay, if let me assume you have a rubber of water. I decide to use half. I decide to use one. If you buy full one, 20 naira, and I decide to use half, I can buy 10 naira. I'm still using it. So why are you placing some people on band A and say they should pay so amount? If the person want to use 24 hours light, he can leave his meter for 24 hours. If I say I want to use only 10 hours, I can use 10 hours and off it and use for 10 hours. But the country we are into, because I don't know how to put it, they just want the masses to keep on crying, because I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I'm coming back to you to ask that same question. Do you think that the country is generating enough power, energy, electricity for the high tariffs that they're serving?
Not at all. Everybody knows that they're not. If you check statistics, you will see that on paper, you would see that this country, Nigeria, has the capacity or have installed in place the machines and equipment with the capacity to generate about 13,000 megawatts.
Yeah.
But if you confirm and verify what is currently being generated, we have just 4,000 to 5,000 megawatts. For how many Nigerians? Over 220 million Nigerians. That is not enough. Now, if you also take statistics on what it would take to at least run schools, homes, hospitals, and what have you, we should be talking about 30,000 megawatts. All right? Then if you want to bring in like industrialization, where electricity consumed in high capacity, then we should be generating about 50,000 megawatts.
Let's talk a little bit on solutions, right? From everything that has been said here today, it is obvious that it is going to be difficult to, get up to that 50,000 megawatts that we need. So what do you think? You're a young professional, you're a business person. what do you think that young professionals and business persons should invest in? Is it solar? Is it generators? How do you think that they should come together? Maybe, I don't know if they need to come together or individually to help them sustain, light, even if it is not the electricity, from the government itself.
All right. You know, it will be very shameful that a father will be there seated and expecting his children to go and solve the problem caused by even by the parents. And it is also practically impossible. Most at times, even when it's not as if the children don't know what to do or how to solve that problem. But at times when the solution is proffered and brought to the parents, at times they yank it off because of some policies and what have you. But if I am to freely advise the leadership of this country, I think the first thing to do is to trace their footsteps back to where they made the error. Now you can see that from what we have. Now let me even start talking about the equipments that we have. When the grid mistakenly sneezes, this is rainy season, and there's every tendency that the grid can sneeze. When the grid sneezes, what happens? You tell me what happens. Are you afraid to talk? Say it. No, God, there's always a problem. You can go on power outage for some days just because of the grid just sneezed. That means there is a problem.
I'm now going to ask the industry professional and, hear if there are like facts or figures or things in works that makes him think or give us hope that we might experience 24-hour lights constantly anytime soon.
All right. I just want to give you an exam that you go and write and you score it by yourself. Now, as a bill payer, you pay electricity bill. The truth is that you pay tax. Some people don't know that they do that. You pay tax. Now, let me just use a particular area in Abuja, for instance. Let me assume like Asokoro. And Asokoro has like 10,000 customers. Let me assume they have 10,000 customers. And each customer pays 200,000 every month. Now, instead of 200,000, that's over 200 billion, right? Now, if you divide it by the fraction for the tax, which is 0.075, if you times it, it's going to give you about 15 billion naira that they will pay as tax in a month. Now, if you look at the country, you see that most of these tax, we are not see what they're using it to do. Someone is somewhere sitting and eating it. Now, if you look at all these things together, do you think on your own that the country will get better with the lights? Because someone from the back end will not give you the supply for you to make profits, and you buy from the other end, you're having a task to also gain. At the end of it, they went to office, sit down one place and take one bottle. You say, just leave them, leave that idea.
Okay, so from conversations that we've had today, we can see that electricity is more than just a switch. It is business, it is life. It is not luxury, but a necessity. And when the power goes off, obviously, the people lose hope. My name is Chimmeli. This has been Street Parliament. Join us again for more insightful conversations with the people. Same time, same station next week.